Coming up on 5 Minute News. Former president pleads the fifth in New York civil investigation. Joe Biden signs burn pits legislation for veterans. And US charges Iranian in John Bolton murder plot. It's Thursday, August 11. I'm Anthony Davis. The former US President Donald Trump invoked the Fifth Amendment protection against self-incrimination as he testified under oath on Wednesday in the New York Attorney General's long-running civil investigation into his business dealings. About an hour after arriving at Attorney General Letitia James's Manhattan offices, Trump announced that he declined to answer the questions under the rights and privileges afforded to every citizen under the United States Constitution. Trump once proclaimed that only the mob plead the Fifth, and why would anyone plead the Fifth if they're innocent? As vociferous as Trump has been in defending himself in written statements and on the rally stage, legal experts said answering questions in a deposition was risky because anything he said could potentially be used against him in a parallel criminal investigation by the Manhattan District Attorney. The Fifth Amendment protects people from being compelled to be witnesses against themselves in a criminal case. Also, if the Attorney General's investigation leads to a civil case against Trump and it went to trial, jurors could be told that he invoked his protection against self-incrimination. New York's investigation, led by James, who has said in court filings that her office has uncovered significant evidence that Trump's company misled lenders and tax authorities about the value of prized assets like golf courses and skyscrapers. The district attorney's investigation has already led to criminal charges against the Trump Organization and its longtime finance chief Alan Weisselberg, who are accused of tax fraud related to fringe benefits offered by the company. President Joe Biden, whose elder son Beau died of cancer years after deploying to Iraq, signed legislation on Wednesday expanding federal healthcare services for millions of veterans who served at military bases where toxic smoke billowed from huge burn pits. The law, which Biden described as long overdue, caps a years-long battle to ensure treatment for chronic illnesses that veterans have blamed on burn pits, which were used to dispose of chemicals, tires, plastics, medical equipment, and human waste on military bases. Estimates of affected troops run to 3.5 million. So many of you here today remind us that we have fought for this for so many years, he said during an emotional White House ceremony that reflected the struggles of military families and the president's personal experience. The president made addressing the problem one of his priorities during his State of the Union address in March. Democratic Senator John Tester, who chairs the Senate Committee on Veterans Affairs, said Biden was a driving force behind the legislation which passed last week. He was continually pushing because whether Beau died of this or not, I think Joe thinks that it had some impact, and so he wanted this to be fixed, Tester said. And because he thinks it was the right thing to do, so different president, different set of priorities, this would have probably never happened. Burn pits were used in Iraq and Afghanistan by the military. However, 70% of disability claims involving exposure to the pits were denied by the Department of Veteran Affairs. The United States charged a member of Iran's elite Revolutionary Guard Corps on Wednesday with plotting to murder John Bolton, a national security advisor to former President Donald Trump. The Justice Department alleged that Shahram Pousafi, also known as Mehdi Rezai of Tehran, was likely motivated to kill Bolton in retaliation for the death of Qasem Soleimani, a commander of Iran's Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps killed in a U.S. drone strike in January 2020. Iran's mission to the United Nations did not immediately respond to a request for comment. Iran does not have an extradition treaty with the United States, and Pousafi remains at large. Washington does not believe the charges should affect talks with Tehran on reviving the 2015 nuclear deal, under which Iran curbed its nuclear program in return for sanctions relief, a US official said, on condition of anonymity. However, it was not clear how the IRGC, a powerful political faction in Iran which controls a business empire as well as elite armed and intelligence forces that Washington accuses of a global terrorist campaign, might react to the charges. Indirect talks between the United States and Iran wrapped up in Vienna on Monday, with European Union officials saying they had put forward a final text to resuscitate the nuclear deal, which Donald Trump abandoned in 2018. You can subscribe to 5 Minute News on YouTube with your preferred podcast app. Ask your smart speaker or enable 5 Minute News as your Amazon Alexa flash briefing skill. Subscribe, rate and review online at 5minute.news. 5 Minute News is an Evergreen podcast covering politics, inequality, health and climate, delivering independent, unbiased and essential world news daily.